first day of June, 1950, as Cold War fears surged and accusations of communism dominated headlines, Maine Senator Margaret Chase Smith stepped onto the Senate floor and delivered her Declaration of Conscience. It came less than 4 months after Senator Joseph McCarthy's explosive wheeling speech at a moment when many in Washington chose silence. Smith didn't name McCarthy, but she challenged the smear tactics and urged the Senate and her own Republican Party to rein in investigations like HUAC, that's the House Un-American Activities Committee, and return to basic Americanism. She laid out 4 rights: the right to criticize, to hold unpopular beliefs, to protest, and to think independently.